That cold dread you feel in meetings, that voice in your head whispering, "You're a fraud and they're about to find out." We've been told it's called imposter syndrome, and for a decade, the advice has been the same. Fix your mindset, own your success, silence your inner critic. But what if that advice is actually making things worse? What if you're not broken? What if that feeling is a perfectly sane alarm system warning you that you're in a broken environment? If you've ever felt like an imposter, welcome to the club. Research suggests that 70% of successful people have experienced this. It's that pervasive feeling of self-doubt and insecurity, even when all the evidence points to your success. We've been told to own our accomplishments, to silence our inner critic, to reframe our thoughts. And that advice is not wrong, but it is dangerously incomplete because it ignores the most important question you could ask yourself. Is this feeling my fault, or is it a reaction to my circumstances? In this video, we are going to radically reframe the conversation. We're going to give you a framework to help you distinguish between internal self-doubt and external gaslighting, because it's time to stop asking only what's wrong with me and start asking what's happening around me. Let's re-examine that feeling. But this time, think of yourself as a plant that was meant to thrive. When a plant starts to wilt, you don't just blame the plant, you check its environment. Is it getting sunlight? Is the soil toxic? For too long, we've only been told to blame the plant. It's time to audit the room. Here are the 3 signs that it's not you, it's the soil you're planted in. First, the soil is poisoned with vague feedback and shifting goalposts. A healthy plant needs clear sunlight. You need clear, specific, actionable feedback to grow. But in a toxic environment, the sunlight is blocked. You get useless feedback like you need more executive presence or just be more of a leader. Worse, the goalposts are constantly shifting. Remember that project you poured your soul into? The moment you delivered, the definition of success suddenly changed. That feeling of "I can never win" isn't a sign of your imposter syndrome. It's the exhaustion of playing a game that's rigged against you. Second, the room has a toxic climate. There is no psychological safety. Think of psychological safety as the climate of a greenhouse. It's the shared belief that it's safe to be vulnerable, to ask a dumb question, to admit a mistake, to disagree respectfully. Now think about the weather you're in. Is it a greenhouse? Or is it a hurricane? Remember that time you held your tongue, your heart pounding because you saw what happened to the last person who challenged an idea? That's not you lacking confidence. That's you making a rational decision to survive in a hostile climate. When you feel like you have to be a perfect, bulletproof superhero just to avoid criticism, you're not an imposter. You're a person weathering a storm. Finally, the gardener takes credit for all the flowers. Think about your last big win. Did you feel the sun on your leaves? Was your contribution publicly and specifically acknowledged by leadership? Or was it stolen? Did your boss take the credit? Was your crucial work erased under the vague banner of a team effort? When your successes are consistently minimized, co-opted, or ignored, you are robbed of the evidence of your own competence. Your brain starts to believe the negative voice because the world isn't giving it any proof to the contrary. This isn't a personal failing, it's a system of recognition that is designed to keep you small. So here is the difference. Imposter syndrome is wilting in a sunlit room with perfect soil. It's the internal feeling of doubt despite a healthy environment providing every reason to thrive. A toxic environment is wilting because you've been planted in a dark closet with poisoned soil. The most revolutionary thing you can do is stop blaming the plant and finally truly look at the room. For years, we've been taught to pathologize this feeling of being a fraud. We've been told it's a glitch in our thinking. But what if it isn't a glitch at all? What if that feeling of self-doubt is actually a highly attuned compass pointing out the invisible dysfunctions in our workplaces and systems? What if it's a sane and rational response to an environment that is fundamentally unsafe or unsupportive? Shifting this perspective doesn't magically solve the problem, but it correctly assigns the weight. It moves the burden off your shoulders and places it onto the system where it may belong. And that is the first step towards real clarity. It's the moment you stop trying to fix the plant and finally truly look at the room.
Feeling seen? It's time to get clarity. Click the link in the description to download our free research-backed checklist, 15 Signs It's Not Imposter Syndrome, It's Your Workplace. This tool will help you assess your situation and decide on your next steps.